we got a lot to do today, and that's great. Guys, we keep getting good.
Friday already?
I know it's Friday already. But here's the great thing. We keep getting good news here when it comes to Damar Hamlin. So here's the latest.
Great news.
Breathing tube is out. He's speaking. Not only is he speaking with, relatives and doctors and all that, he FaceTimed the Bills team and basically, hey man, I'm with you guys. I love you guys. Thank you, et cetera, et cetera. And he's got all his neurological functions, and doesn't mean he's 100% out of the woods. He's not, but he's doing great, man. This is just, it keeps getting better.
Absolutely. The mere fact that he can communicate right now, talk to players, talk to, his loved ones, it's and his cognitive reasoning is there. That's the big thing right there.
Absolutely.
You didn't know how he was going to come out, with not having not having oxygen to the brain for, I don't know how long it was, but just the fact that he can really communicate and get things going is always a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's big, man. That's big.
Just think in a span of 5 days, not 4 days, he's gone from being resuscitated twice to now speaking on his own, functioning on his own, grabbing hands, communicating. I can't even put into words what he did in terms of just being able to talk to his teammates on a Zoom today compared to what happened 4 days ago. Do you know what that does for the psyche of these guys?
Yep.
Just right now, in terms of big sigh of relief. Now we can focus. It appears he's out of the water. Still has a long way to go, but the dude is functioning. It appears no brain damage. It's amazing, man. Because we all want, how do you send these guys back into the field of battle with them thinking about what they witnessed firsthand just 4 days ago? And now the dude sitting there talking to him, man, encouraging him. I love you guys. That's all they needed to hear.
Yep.
That's all they needed to hear.
I'm with you, Derek. I don't even care, frankly, who wins the game or whatever. But my thought was with the Bills, how do you go out and play football? How are they possibly going to go out there and hit somebody and be hit and react, and the emotional pendulum that swings in a football game? How do you go out there and do that if he was still so far in the woods that you didn't know, whether or not he was going to be able to come back? But now they could, okay, everybody exhale. Let's go out and play football. I really, you can't even describe how important that is for these guys, man.
Yeah, I kind of felt dirty, sitting back and thinking about going, to the next week's game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, talking about the Giants, because, here this young man was fighting for his life, and here I am talking about the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel as guilty anymore. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go. All forward to the Giants.
All right. Well said. So let me give you more good news. Nick Sirianni, when he met with the media, whatever time it was, 10, 15-ish, whatever, this morning, wouldn't totally commit, but did say that, and this is the most we've gotten from him on this, Jalen Hurts is trending in the right direction. He said, we're going to have to see how today goes, and I don't have to decide right now, but from what we've seen the last 2 days, where he was still limited, by the way, at least, technically still limited, he said he's trending in the right direction. I take that as, I know, Gunner, you might snicker as soon as I say it, but
no.
I take it as he's playing on Sunday, barring any kind of crazy setback.
Like I said yesterday, I'll stand here and say it again today. I'm 90% with you. But see, I looked at the transcript from his press conference, and here's what jumped out at me. Ed Kratz asked him, what are some of the differences you see in this week versus what he was able to do last week? And Sirianni said this: obviously, he's done more this week. He's done a little bit more this week. I thought he threw the ball well last week, but you're talking about the healing that's going on, things you cannot see. That things you cannot see. It's things going on in there. Okay.
Meaning the shoulder.
So we're talking about a sprain. Okay. Well, Lamar Jackson sprained his knee on on December 4th. We've seen guys come back from sprained knees a couple weeks later. Okay. It's healed 1 week further from when it happened. So there's a lot to read into that one statement also. Now, Nick Sirianni is very coy about giving you what he wants to give you and nothing more. But I think that's telling there's stuff healing in there you cannot see. And all of that has to be figured into the equation. Yeah. And again, Lamar Jackson, everybody thought, oh, he'd be back in a couple of weeks. He's had sprained knee before. Now with Lamar Jackson, they're talking about we haven't ruled him out of the playoffs yet with a sprained knee. Barrett, when you hear the word sprained knee, you've been around many sprained knees. I'm assuming you've had a number of sprained knees. What does that mean to you?
Sprained knee could be, many things, and whenever I hear about a sprain, it's not necessarily the tear or anything. It's more so the support that the knee is giving, the support, the strength of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can play with pain. Pain is something, that you have to differentiate from. All right, is it pain or is it an injury? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because you're gonna have painful stuff. Your body's always gonna be in a constant flux of pain when you're playing and going through an NFL season. But strength is where I get mostly, when I go into stuff like this, I think about the strength of something, the strength to be able to hold up. And that's the biggest thing that, when I'm thinking about these type of things that I worry about. Is it strong enough to take care of what it needs to do? Is it strong enough to be able to take a licking? Is it strong enough to be able to throw the ball down the field, deep passes down the field continually? That's where my biggest thing was, and how he's progressing in his development and in his healing.
So the same thing could apply to a shoulder as well.
Absolutely,
the same thing you just talked about as a knee could apply to the shoulder as well. Yeah.
Yep. Is it strong enough to keep going? I mean, it can be strong enough to go through practice and you know what I'm saying, throw the ball here and there, being selective in how they do it. Yeah. But can it go through a game, running around, emotion up, adrenaline going up, he throws it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He tries to force it, somewhere, can it get there consistently for the entire game? That's what I want to know. So that's why I said,
you're in practice. You're making some clean throw to a guy on a slant. It's another thing. You got a dude hanging on you.
Strength,
you're being pulled one way. You're trying. You have to make sure that, and some things you can't account for, obviously. But
you can't account for a Driscoll.
Right. Well, no, but I'm saying
I didn't know Barrett would swing it back to that. Yes.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I think the most difficult throw in this situation for him would be throwing across his body, throwing across the field.
Mm-hmm. Or Driscoll's man on him.
I think I know where we're going next. I think I know where we're headed. Yeah.
But I thought Mulatto was going to the right side.
It's still a Driscoll sighting, man. But still, I'm just saying this. You gotta go with the guys that are around those guys every day. The coaching staff, you gotta trust them, trust that they know what they're doing, but and I'm not in the game anymore, so I don't know. I'm not with these guys every day, but I just think this is a better situation putting those guys in. But yeah, we can get back. We can get back to the strained shoulder. But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, trying to throw with a guy draped over you like that, that's tough, man. That's tough.
And the biggest one is, and again, you can't account for this, but
no, you can't.
There's a situation where he's running, and not even a called run. He's just trying to get out of trouble, and he gets thrown down on that right shoulder. How does he respond? How does he react? That's what I worry about.
That's my second biggest fear, Rob. My biggest fear is him stepping back in the pocket and him not being able to see somebody coming as he's raised. How many times have we seen this? Your arm is hit or your arm's pulled back in the ball. That's putting additional strain on there. I'm more concerned about that than him. See, when he's shown us enough this season, except for that one fluke play in Chicago, and let's face it, fluke plays happen. He's been able to protect his body for the most part when he's about to get hit. He's been able to get down. He's been able to roll away from a lot of the hits. But we've seen him take a couple of hits, one where he right the middle, sat down, got caught right in the chest, and the other one where Mulatto said, man, I said, you want me to help you? You want me to call somebody? Man, help me up. Okay. Right. So two times, so we've seen that all the time where a quarterback throws, hand gets hit, broken finger, whatever the case.
Bridgewater,
for Rodgers earlier this season, playing with a broken thumb all season. We see that all the time. And, those are things you can't prepare for. That's part of the game.
Yeah. No, listen, I hear you. And that's all the things that they have to take into account because there is a bigger picture. However, this has become a must win for me. we'll talk about this a little bit later. The road through the wild card and trying to win on the road and is a lot harder than having one less game to play and playing at home the whole time. So you got to win this game. You screwed around last week, and this is the price that you pay. Sorry.
Yeah.
To me, if he's good to go, you got to play him, and because you have to win this game. Now, would it be ideal? Would it be perfect if you're killing the Giants and he doesn't have to play in the fourth quarter or halfway through the third? Yeah.
Great. From your mouth to God's ears, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Something tells me, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to be a laugher. I hope I'm wrong. We're going to talk to Jordan right now and find out if the Giants, he thinks the Giants are going to play their starters. I would really highly doubt if any of those guys, meaning, Saquon or Daniel Jones or some of your big boys, Leonard Williams, are going to play. Actually, they've ruled out, by the way, Leonard Williams with a neck. Aziz Alarji is out as well with an ankle. So they're both officially out. Dable hasn't, talked to anybody else yet. Talked about anybody else yet officially. So those two are definitely out.
No, Rob.
I will say this: Todd Bowles has already said his starters are playing. Tampa Bay can't move anywhere. He's already said his starters are going to play. Now, what was that? A series, a quarter, a half? Who knows? But he said, and Tom Brady endorsed it that the starters are playing.
Yeah, Brady did that with Belichick. Used to do it with Brady all the time. He playing that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he likes to play.
And I remember last year.
But you got to remember what happened last year. Excuse me. You got to remember what happened last year with Dallas. Dallas played their starters three quarters into the game.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? And at that time, we were actually, our backups were actually competing with their starters.
Right.
That's when a lot of these guys like Zach McPherson stepped up and showed me he could play. Guys like that. So it's not like you're going to get, these are NFL players, man. And regardless of their backups, they're not their NFL quality players, man. So, you're going to get their best effort. They're interviewing for 31 other teams. They're ready going out there to show that they can play. They can play at this level. So they're going to give their all. They're going to give max effort, So it's not like you're just going to walk all over these guys.
No, it's a great point. They may be less skilled, but they might be hungrier. You're talking about people who want to just play in the NFL next year, who may have to go out there and prove to you I belong in the NFL. Don't overlook that. That's desperation. That's food on your plate.
Yeah.
I'm Mama Brooks.
You're talking about a bunch of guys who have been sitting on the bench most of this season, just itching to show people what they're capable of doing, even the organization that they're playing for right now. And they're going to go out there. And again, see, that's the other aspect of it. Some of them are going out of adrenaline pumping situation. They're going to do some things that they normally won't do. There could be that late hit. There could be that, roughing the passer. There's going to be, and plus it's a division game. There's going to be some extracurricular stuff going on in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Does the stream still know? Do you guys know something I don't know as far as Jordan Mailata playing on the right side?
I'm looking at their comments. I have to ignore them. Based on what we've discussed and what we've been told.
Yeah.
Let's put it like this. I would be shocked as I sit here right now if they move. I agree with Barrett 100%. I have all week long. The best scenario would be, especially if Hurts is out there, is to move Mailata to the right side and insert Dillard. But based on what Barrett and I know, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. I do not think that's going to happen.
It doesn't feel that way to me either. I'm with Barrett. I want my five best in front of my guy, especially, my guy coming off a shoulder injury. I want my five best. It feels like it's going to be Driscoll at the right side. I'll tell you, Nick Sirianni didn't, it wasn't brought up there. I haven't seen anything else reported. I'll see if I can find somebody saying that Z-Berm, our guy Z-Berm, reported this. I'm going to see if I can find it. I'll look right now while you guys talk about it. But go ahead, Barrett.
Well, let's say, John Dixon says Driscoll's at right tackle yesterday.
I'm saying we haven't seen anything to make us think that they're doing the move where Mailata's going to the right, and there's nothing there. I'm looking at Zach Berman. He hasn't said anything as far as that goes.
Well, yeah, I trust Stoutland. I trust Stoutland also, but I saw what Stoutland put out on the field last game. So I could just go by that. So this is a very unforgiving league, and it's what have you done for me lately? And Driscoll, You know, you say you got to pay the rent. He owe a couple dollars in the rent. He owe a couple dollars.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Driscoll when he is moving forward.
Yes.
I hold my breath. I hold my breath when he has a set up a pass block. Now, the fact that the Saints, and we talked about this earlier in the week, Cameron Jordan played on the left side all season. They moved him over Driscoll for a reason. And he abused Driscoll. Now Thibodeau, whoever they put on the field, is not Cameron Jordan. Okay. But they do have some pass rushers, and Wink Martindale, I don't care if Martindale's playing the 53rd man on the roster, they're going to blitz. So somebody's going to find a weak link somewhere on that offensive line.
Yeah, guys, I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at every beat writer. I don't see any of that. So for what it's worth, it looks like it's staying the same.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying Driscoll's staying on the right. Just be clear, Driscoll's on the right side this week. Now, obviously the hope is in 2 weeks, Lane Johnson's ready to go. Right now, I have my reservations that he's going to be able to get through this thing and play 3 games with a torn adductor. Yeah,
we're all hoping that.
Right. So that's it. I mean, it is what it is. It's worrisome.
If you run the ball 40 times, I'm okay. Even if you don't run for 200 yards, like I said, I'll say it again. As long as that offense has Driscoll moving forward and not moving backward, I'm good with that. Run the ball 40 times.
Look, let's do a couple things. If the Eagles win the coin toss, take the damn ball. Take the damn ball, drive it down the field, set a tone right away. That guess what? This isn't last week or the week before. Score, okay? Mix the run and the pass and score. Then a novel concept, your defense gets off the field real quick on the first series offensively for the Giants. Then you get it and score again. And then you're basically saying, all right, we're back to being the Eagles. You're telling yourself that, you're telling the crowd that, you're telling the Giants that guess what? I know you guys showed up today. You're kind of half-hearting it right now. Why don't you just pack it in and set your tee times? Because this is what this is going to be. I don't want to play the odds. I don't want to take the analytics approach and defer and all that. I want to come out and punch him in the mouth and run behind Driscoll. I don't care what you do, but pound the rock.
That's all, man. Just hand it off, and let's go take your quarterback out of the equation. Then also,
exactly right.
You don't have to worry about him hitting on a pass play or something like that.
Yeah,
just take him out of the equation. Just hand it off. He'll still be a threat back there because they don't know that you're gonna just hand it off. They can still think you might be running the read option. As long as we got to make sure we protect Jalen Hurts, and the way you protect him is running the ball.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
I just think that's
40 carries.
You're right. Well, yeah, and again, you can mix in Gainwell, you mix in Boston Scott, do whatever you got to do. I don't want anything called for Jalen specifically to run.
Right.
Go traditional in a lot of ways, but utilize what you have with Jalen Hurts and the differences that he makes in between him and Gardner Minshew. It's not even close. You should be able to handle this thing. You can't take care of this Giants team that's got mostly probably everybody sitting. I don't know. Doesn't bode well for the playoffs. I can tell you that much.
I just know we're in a position right now to guarantee that our players will have a week and a half off.
Yep.
We can guarantee it. You know what I'm saying? That they won't have to do anything for a week. If they win on Sunday, they won't practice again until what? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Of the next week. That's almost a week and a half of getting guys off their feet and virtually just watching the film, breaking down a game plan, because you won't know who their opponent's going to be until you'll know one of two teams you'll be playing, but you got to prepare for both teams. So when you go in and hit the ground running, installing the game plan after the game on Sunday or Saturday, you got to be ready to go. Yeah,
absolutely.
They won't know who they're going to play. So whoever they end up slotted, whoever they end up playing, will either what seed is it that they might play?
They could be 5. The Eagles could fall to 5.
No, I'm saying if they win, and then they go into the next, they off that week, and then the next week,
whatever the lowest seed alive.
Yeah.
Which that's changed a lot. By the way, Barrett, since you brought it up, so when it looked like Green Bay was dead and buried, and whatever, but I didn't think there's any chance some of these lower seeds were going to pull an upset. But if you have Green Bay as your 7, I don't think they will. I think San Francisco would win, but it's not out of the question that Green Bay would upset San Francisco. Not out of the question.
No, it's not. Not at all.
It's not totally out of the question. The Giants don't beat the Vikings either. So you could end up playing a 6 or 7, whatever it is. Whoever the lowest seed that's left is who the Eagles get. That's what we know. Likely Dallas, if they're the 5 seed playing at Tampa and Dallas wins, likely Dallas. That's if you assume Dallas wins.
Right.
That's
and Dallas going on the road to Tampa is not a given.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Not the way Brady played last Sunday.
No, not with, as Barrett points out, they get Ryan Jensen back, which is big. And, they're healthier on their offensive line. It's finally looking like, like Mike Evans and everybody else looks like they kind of got their got together. They all got their act together here. So that's a good thing too. I saw
a great stat this morning, which really shocked me. And having home field advantage is not as prominent as it had been years ago. In the last 4 years, 44 playoff games, not counting the Super Bowl. Last 4 years, 44 playoff games. The home team has won 24. The road team's won 20.
Damn.
So there's a balance. Yeah. The home team has won 24. The road team has won 20. So the playing field is, because there's so much parity now across, home field has not been a decisive advantage as we thought it would be across the league. You look at Cincinnati, they had to go on the road all last playoffs and won. San Francisco went on the road and won. So the home field, there's something to this now in terms of, you want the home field whenever you can get it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a decisive advantage over an opponent.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, how often does this go to chalk? It doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, you're always going to have upsets here. You're always assuming just all the higher seeds win or lower seeds, however you want to look at it, the better teams, I guess, win is a wrong way to look at it for sure.
Well, I won a Super Bowl. We were the 6th seed, the last seed in the AFC.
That's right.
And we went on the road. We went on the road to Cincinnati, went on the road to Indianapolis, went on the road to Denver, and then went on the road to Detroit in the Super Bowl to win it. So, it's more so, have running game, will travel. We've got a running game. You know what I'm saying? We've got a running game. We got to get it going, man. No,
well said. Yeah, it's there. So utilize it. Don't fall into these bad habits, man, where you just think you're a passing team. For the life of me, that doesn't make sense last week with a backup quarterback who you can see early wasn't playing well and maybe wasn't being protected super well. Just last week, everybody's got to own that, players and coaches. It was a really weak effort, and it's not like them. That is uncharacteristic of what we've seen. Now, one other good sign here, C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been a full go in these practices. Yeah, you get him back. I mean, that's a big piece. That's something to be overlooked.
Huge. That's probably the person we need back the most. You know what I'm saying? Like a necessity. We have to have somebody that can play that slot corner position.
Right.
We have to have somebody, because that's the logical thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Is to put him at the slot corner, because he's played it his entire career. He's only played since he's been here and a couple of games when he was in New Orleans, the safety position. But we know daggone well he can play slot corner and play it at a high level.
But Barrett, will they do that? Based on what we've seen from Gannon, I think they'll bring him back and put him back on the deep end where they had him before. I don't know if they'd move him in a slot. I agree with you. That's the logical choice. But would Gannon do that? Or would he put him back the way he's had him play all season?
Well, who would play slot corner then? You keep Josiah Scott there?
Yeah, probably. If not Scott, do you put Epps down there?
No, Epps stays safety.
Okay.
I'm just saying we have Reed Blankenship, who's been playing a pretty good high level. Pretty good level. You have Reed Blankenship there, and then you have you keep Epps at that safety. Now you don't, you're pretty good at the safety position. You're pretty stable. You're stable at the safety position. Not saying that Reed Blankenship blowing people out the water, like he's just out there just balling, but he's very, very capable of playing that position a lot better than I think Josiah Scott can play the cornerback position. You know
everything you say is logical. I'm talking about the illogical antics of one Jonathan Gannon. See what I'm saying?
You always Dr. Spock me, man.
I have to ask the question.
No, it's not the question. But why do we always be put in a position where we think it's totally logical, and then they
yes,
back opposite?
Yes.
They do the exact opposite.
The only difference, though, with this and like the offensive line juggling is they're not saying this, but this is me speculating. They may not think Avonte Maddox is coming back, period.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah, I'm right. So they look at the offensive line. They're like, all right, we'll get through another week with Driscoll, even though that's a dangerous way to think. Okay. But they may look at it that way. And for the playoffs, going to have Lane Johnson back and everything's fine. Defense, they may look at it and say, we do have to juggle this because this guy's probably not coming back. I think that could happen, Barry. I think that's more likely than the Mailata movement.
Yeah.
But both of you agree with me when I said earlier this week, Josiah Scott plays a better game when he knows he's starting more so than coming off a bench.
And he did.
He did against the Saints. Yes, he did. So that could be their mindset as well. Long as he knows he's practicing as a starter this week, even if CJ comes back, we feel good about putting him back in that slot.
Hey, hey, everybody on the stream. Hey, I want to say thank you guys. You guys really welcome my mom like that. That's big ups. I appreciate y'all.
Mom gets a lot of love on the stream.
Yeah, nice. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? She's just trying to get to heaven. She's nice now. She's trying to get to heaven.
He keeps saying that, man.
Yeah,
come on, man.
She's nice now. That's your son talking. That's not Derek and I, by the way. Let's be clear on that.
Barrett, I'm gonna tell her like it is, bro. She earned her wings when she had you and your brother.
We need Mama Brooks on, right?
When she brought you and your brother in the world, she had already earned her wings.
Yeah. I got a younger brother, but he just gets ghosts, man. I don't know. He works up here with me. He actually works for SEPTA. So he drives a bus for SEPTA. And I don't know.
My dad worked for SEPTA for years. So
he's just quiet, man. He just don't. He don't say anything. He's all wrapped up to his sons. My nephew's really, really good dude. One of them running track for Monmouth College.
Nice.
So he runs track for him.
Oh, was that one we played basketball with? Is that one of his sons?
Yeah.
Is that the one who runs track too?
Yep.
Oh, he's a good athlete, man. He could ball. We needed him at the beginning of the game. So we played a charity game. We talked about this before. We're against our local steam fitters, the 420 guys, who were great guys. They were out at our coat drive a couple of weeks back. Awesome dudes. But let's face it, Barry, we were getting smoked. Okay, we were getting smoked, and we need some help. So we plucked Barrett's nephew off the bench. We're like, suit up, my man, and he went out there and helped us. I'll just say that it was we needed all the help we could get.
Now, how much were you guys bucket hanging?
Bro, I was trying my best to get up and down the court.
Yeah, we were trying anything we could. We were pulling out all the stops, man.
Yeah, man. We tried everything. I'm like, I'm sitting on the sideline. Rob almost. I'm like, no. He's like,
we need some help next year or this year.
Oh man.
All right, let's get time out. Jordan Raynon's going to join us. ESPN. He does a great job covering the Giants for ESPN. We're looking forward to talking to Jordan. And he's outside. He's braving the elements from what my sources are telling me. So we'll be joined by Jordan when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I'm going to tell you about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group right now because knowing who to trust with your finances, it's difficult, right? It's a challenge. And anybody who's been through it and you've been sent down the wrong road before, it can be frustrating. I found the right person, and I want you to as well. That's Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. If you have a small business and you're trying to set up your employee benefits, that is another resource that Jim can help you with. Personally, I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You will be too. 610-996-4751. That's how you reach him. 610-996-4751. Or you can email him, Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.